I'm Melissa Shanahan, and this is the Velocity Work Podcast, episode number 90. This podcast is for attorneys who are running their own firms. We explore tactics, tools, and stories related to pushing past simply lawyering well and into building a successful firm. Working in your firm and working on your business are two very different things. This podcast focuses on the latter. Well, hi everyone. Welcome to this week's episode. How are you doing? How's it going? Can't believe we're almost to the end of April. Time's flying, and we've been having a good time over here at Velocity Work. We've got our groups kind of rolling out they're well into their quarter now. They're making headway. They're focused, and we're all working together for coaching and support to keep on keeping on towards the things that they want to create for themselves. And it's been a really beautiful start to Q2. Also this quarter, for us here at Velocity Work, the theme is Mastery Group, the coaching group that I offer for law firm owners that's centered around quarterly strategic planning. They are the focus for us this quarter, meaning all of our behind the scenes priorities are being spent, or all our resources, time, energy, budget, all of that for this quarter are being spent towards bettering and improving and up-leveling the experience for Mastery Group members. There's a new member area we're working on, which is going to be slick. Really slick. Very excited about that. So that's being developed. We are improving how we're going to be delivering the quarterly strategic planning workshops. We're revamping some of the worksheets. We're leveling up, and I'm really excited about it. You know, this has been built pretty organically over the last year, and we're at a place where we're running strong, and it's time to, now that we have feedback, we understand where some areas can be, improvements can be made. We're all in on that. And it feels really good and exciting for the members, exciting for us here at Velocity Work. And we'll be rolling out that stuff as we make those improvements. Pretty cool. Oh, and other improvement. So I'm building some customized tracking portals for certain members inside of Mastery Group, so that I'm building a template library of tracking portals for anyone who joins Mastery Group. They're going to be able to grab a tracking template and be able to customize it for themselves and use that moving forward. And that is exciting. You know, I used to only do this for private clients, and I can go much deeper with private clients on the kinds of things that they track. But you know, most people that come to us, they don't have a way to track. Maybe they do have an Excel, but most don't. So I encourage them to create just an Excel spreadsheet, not pretty, just track the things that need to be tracked, and you can make it pretty later. But I want to develop more and more resources for different practice areas, and based on the fee structure, is it flat fee or contingency or hourly, and have a myriad of options for people who come to us so they can see, oh, that's what's going to fit my business best. I will start with that template. So that's been an exciting journey. So we're in the beginning stages of that. I have one built and moving on to do some more for members. And then those will be turned into templates with Loom videos that will accompany it. So anyone who joins Mastery Group will be able to be set up to start tracking what they've said is important to them and to their firm and what needs to be focused on. So exciting. So exciting. So that's what we're working on over here. And that's our Q2. What's your Q2? How is it going? I'm super genuinely curious. And I know you can't answer through this recording right now, but always just know that I'm plugged in and engaged in people and in law firm owners and what they're working on quarter after quarter, what the barriers are, what's exciting to them, all of that. So if you feel compelled, reach out, tell me about it. I want to know what's up for you. You can email me directly, melissa@velocitywork.com. Okay, well, today we're going to talk about personal integrity. This is something that indirectly I've talked about a lot on the podcast, and I want to offer to you guys today a way to approach this topic of personal integrity. And what I mean by personal integrity is the relationship that you have to yourself. We have a lot of relationships. We have relationships with loved ones. We have relationships with employees. We have relationships with colleagues. We have relationships with et cetera, right? We can go on and on. But we don't always stop and think about or give care and thought to the relationship that you have to yourself. This is a big deal. The stronger that your relationship is to yourself, the more trust there is, the more trust you have in yourself, the faster you end up creating the results that you want to create. It boils down to, do you do the things you say you're going to do? That's what it boils down to. Now, for some of us, this is slippery because we don't always declare what we're going to do. We don't always have a plan on what we're going to do. So then there's nothing really to honor there. We may have intentions that are unspoken undercurrents of, well, of course, I want to spend more time with my family. Of course, I want to be healthier. Of course, but I don't necessarily make that a priority. And when I say make it a priority, you don't schedule time to give to those things. Some of you think, or have created this reality for yourself where you spend plenty of quality time with your family. That doesn't feel like something that needs to be bumped. That's great. A lot of people don't feel that way. A lot of people have this tiny voice inside that tells them that they should be spending more quality time with their loved ones. And as an example, so what I want you to think about today as you're listening to this conversation about personal integrity is, where for you is that little voice? Everyone I have the privilege of working with in business is very intentional about planning for their business. And then through working together and through accountability and coaching, their actions actually line up with what they want to create. They're very intentional with how they think. They're intentional with how they feel. They're intentional with the actions that they take. Thus, they are intentional with the results that they create. So that is something that, we reverse engineer, and we get very intentional with how we're going to spend our time working towards a goal. But here's the thing. I always say to clients, you are building your firm. We are building what we're building, not at the cost of you. And that sounds lovely. And I think that really resonates with people. And I'm glad. I mean it. But people don't necessarily define what that might look like at the cost of me. So the first thing that usually comes to people's minds is, running myself ragged, not eating lunch, not eating enough, basically just so busy that you leave yourself in the dust. But there's other things too. And that's a valid thing to think through and be intentional about, so you don't leave yourself in the dust, so that you aren't building this firm at the cost of you. But what does that mean beyond just running yourself ragged? What's the ripple effect of running yourself ragged? What's the impact of doing this at the cost of you? What does that mean for you? For some people, it is that they wish they spent more time with their family. For some people, it's just that it's not about the time. It's just about being present. When they are with their family, they're present with their family. For some, it's really taking care of themselves and their health. For some, it's sleep. So I don't know what it is for you, but let's just talk for a second about personal integrity. I work closely with people to ensure that they are lining themselves up and acting with more and more and more personal integrity, meaning how they operate, how they show up, and that it's actually in line with their intentions. It's actually in line with what they said they wanted. But there's other things that maybe they are leaving in the dust. And what I want to offer to all of you listening is that there's an opportunity you have to listen to the whispers, to listen to the things where there's like this little hint of, I should be more present with my family. I should be taking a walk or moving my body somehow. I should be sleeping an extra hour a night or more. There's this thread. And the reason that you feel like you should is not out of guilt, but it's because it's really what you want. It's just not being prioritized in a way where it's winning. Something else is winning out over it. Personal integrity, like I've said before, is the relationship between you and strengthening that relationship and really trusting yourself that when you want to do something and you say you're going to do it, it's as good as done. This all starts with planning. This all starts with saying, this is how I'm going to spend my time based on what I want to create. And I think the reason that people tend to kick out they'll do it for business, at least the ones I work with, because that's what we do, right? They'll do it for business, but they tend to kick out or let drop the other elements of taking care of themselves. They don't calendar that stuff in because they think that, well, it's going to take a lot. And so I don't really have a lot of time to give. And so it feels pointless to actually calendar time because it's like, okay, I don't really have that much time and it isn't my first focus. Whether it should or shouldn't be, that's not what we're arguing here today. But usually something isn't winning out because we don't feel like we have these huge swaths of time to give to it. But here's the truth. Turtle steps get you really where you want to go. It is not these huge amounts of time. It's the quality of the time that you're spending with that and engaging with that thing that you want. So and also let me just back up and say, I did a podcast. I don't know what episode it was. We'll put it in the show notes. It was called All In or Going All In, one of those two things. And it was about this idea that you don't need a lot of time. You just have to be all in when you do show up for the things that you want to do. If you think that you have this drive that you want to be more present with your family, what is one small thing you can do that you're going to be very intentional about, that you're going to calendar? And when you show up for that one thing, and it may be 30 minutes, when you show up for that one thing, you are all in on that one thing, nothing else. Because if you show up, let's say at dinner with your family and you are all in, totally present, totally engaged, having conversation, soaking up the joy of your family or soaking up whatever family isn't always pure joy, right? But just soaking up your family, being really present there, not missing it for that 30-minute window. It's better than being around your family for 4 hours and not being present or being sort of in and out. So it really is about being all in. So I highly recommend that podcast episode. If any of this is resonating with you, you'll probably like that episode as well. But what do you have a whisper about? What are the things that you know you need to be more present for? You need to be paying more attention to, but it hasn't made the cut. Put those things in your calendar. The specific small action that you're going to take, put it in your calendar. Your job is to make a plan and honor your plan. And I talk about this a lot with business because naturally I'm talking to law firm owners about building their businesses, but it shouldn't be at the cost of you. And when I teach Monday Map, which is how to plan your week in a really strong way, when I teach that, I do say in the guide that we have, and I'm actually making a video series right now that's going to go with that PDF guide, that I say in there, not just work. This is about you as the owner. It's not about your firm. When you're planning your week and how you're going to show up for your week, this is about you, not about your firm. Yes, your firm is going to benefit. Yes, your clients are going to benefit, but it's not just about work. So don't only calendar work things in there. Calendar what matters. Then you show up for your calendar because then you're going to be honoring the things that you say matter. In there needs to be time for you as a human. You are not a robot. There has to be rejuvenation time in your calendar somewhere. And again, it doesn't have to be these huge swaths of time. It can be a shorter amount of time, but you be fully present for rejuvenation. You allow yourself to really deeply relax into whatever you're doing. Be very present in whatever you're doing, and it will rejuvenate you. If you have time on your calendar that's something that means like rejuvenating space to you, maybe it's, going for a hike or whatever it is for you. If you put that in your calendar, but you're constantly thinking about work or what you should have done or what you could have done or what you need to do next week, then you're not fully present with the rejuvenation piece. And so you're not going to be rejuvenated. It's very inefficient. What's more efficient, but not as easy, is to plan in a way that sets you up for success. Not just sets your firm up for success, sets you up for success. And you show the F up. Now, I've talked about this a lot on the podcast, but the reason I'm bringing this back to today is because honoring your plan, doing the things that you said you were going to do, that is personal integrity. And I was listening to an interview with Nir Eyal, who wrote the book Indistractable. I always refer to him as my brother from another mother. I think I'm going to use that to try to get him on the podcast. But anyway, I love everything he teaches. I agree with. We essentially teach the same things, but have a different language that we bring to it and a different way of teaching it. I was listening to an interview with him, and he said, the question was about like how to measure if you're being successful or not. Not if you've hit a major result, then it's a success, but day to day, how do you measure if you were successful or not? And I loved his answer. So simple. The answer was, at the end of every day, if you ask yourself, did I do what I said I was going to do today? And the answer is yes, you're winning. That's success. And it summed up so well what I talk around a lot with people. I think that is a beautiful, brilliant filter question for the end of the day or the end of a week. But the end of every day, to me, that resonates deeply. The end of a week, like there's a lot that can happen in a week, but every day, did I do the things I said I was going to do today? Meaning, did I honor my calendar today? Because if you're planning well enough, it's all there. You're just supposed to follow that guide. And did you do that? Right? So this filter question I wanted to give to you guys today to help provide you a check and balance for yourself to see, how are you doing with personal integrity? The first step is you have to plan the things that are important to you. It has to go in your calendar. And again, don't skip putting something important to you on the calendar because you feel like you don't have enough time or space to give to it. You're probably wrong about that. Really question your assumptions, because maybe if you think you should spend more time with your kids, what if you just spent this really concentrated all-in amount of time with your kids or your spouse or whoever else you really care about and love? What if you spent a shorter amount of time, but so deeply focused and so present with them? And that's on your calendar, right? These are the things that matter. What I don't want to see people do, and I work hard inside of Mastery Group to make sure that this isn't happening. What I don't want to see people do is build a really great firm and it's not on their terms, meaning it is at the cost of them on some level. It's at the cost of some value on some level to them. That's not okay with me. I don't want to have anything to do with someone building a firm and them as the owner, as a whole person, isn't considered. That doesn't get to happen in my world. I don't want it to happen on my watch. And I can't control others, but I can keep reminding. And so this is a way where I just want to remind everybody, when you make plans that honor you as a whole person, not just one or two big efforts and results you're trying to create. When you honor you as a whole person and that plan, you're giving space, even if it's a small amount of space, it matters. If you're giving space in your calendar, then your job is just to show up for your calendar. And at the end of the day, ask yourself, did I do what I said I was going to do today? If the answer is yes, success, my friend. If the answer is no, then don't make it mean something bad. Don't beat yourself up over it. There's zero upside to beating yourself up over something. If the answer is no, what you need to understand is that one of two things needs a look. You need to have a look at one of two things. Well, the first is that you didn't plan well enough. Maybe you didn't set yourself up to be able to even answer that question with a yes, because you packed so much in so tight. cutting corners, you basically made an unrealistic schedule for yourself to follow, then you were setting yourself up to fail. There's no way you're going to be able to say, yes, I did everything I said I was going to do. So are you setting yourself up poorly? So do you need to plan better? Or is it that you did have a great plan, but you gave in to distractions while you were supposed to be executing on your plan? Did you give in to the urges to go do something different other than what you had written down? That is all about basically trading instant gratification for delayed gratification. That is about being able to handle the discomfort that's required in order to delay gratification. But it's so much richer. The gratification that's delayed is so much more fulfilling and exciting than the instant gratification of the moment, kind of giving into what you felt like doing in the moment, even though it wasn't lined up with what you said you were going to do. It wasn't the thing you said you were going to do. Because remember, we say we're going to do things because we know it's lined up, we're planning in a very intentional way. So honor your plan because it's intentional. Don't give in to the distractions in the moment. So that's one of two things. So just have a look. If your answer is no, I did not do what I said I was going to do today, which one is it? Treat this like math. Which one is it? Did you not plan well enough? Or did you just not honor your plan because you gave into distractions and urges to do other things? Once you can identify which path, where it went wrong, then you can get to work. Then you know exactly what to do. No use beating yourself up, saying, I should have done better. Why can't I just stick with this? No. Just get to work. Figure it out, which path you need to work on, and then work on that thing. So I hope this helps. I think that filter question is powerful to just help us know and be tuned in with if we are strengthening that relationship with ourselves, that trust with ourselves, and increasing our personal integrity. At the end of every day, did I do what I said I was going to do? All right, everybody. Have a beautiful week. I will talk to you next Tuesday. Hey there. If you enjoyed this podcast, I highly recommend you come and check out Mastery Group. It is where owner attorneys come together to study this material, apply it, and thus create really big results for their firm and for their life. So come on over, velocitywork.com/join to get more information and get started. Show notes from this episode can be found at velocitywork.com/podcast.